What's up, guys? Sunday here. Pretty beautiful day outside, so spent the morning going pretty slow, finished a couple movies, and really got into the day thinking more about focus and self-control. Primarily focus, avoiding distractions, not living life with my phone pretty much in my face constantly. On the weekends in particular, not so much yesterday, just given what I had going on, I do like to walk and get coffee. So I spent a couple hours this afternoon walking down to the local park and then walking into downtown. And do this, listen to music. It's usually a pretty good time. Use it as a little bit of a light form of exercise. Given the new tattoo, kind of trying to take care of that and treat it a little tenderly the first couple days. I don't like to work out too hard, so normally I'd run on Sundays. Didn't run today, but I did end up walking probably about 15,000 steps. Walked into downtown and back out, probably a total 5-6 miles maybe, like all in. Took a couple hours to do it, stopped to get coffee, stopped in the park. Got to spend a lot of time just kind of focused on a couple different things. And, really get to think about focusing in on some of the things that I want to accomplish and do in the near future. So I think this is vlog number 10, which is pretty dope. I've been able to stick with it for over a week, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, but usually right when you start is the hardest time to kind of build something up and maintain consistency. It hasn't been too challenging this last week, but this last week was busier than I would say an average week is. So given the fact that I committed to it through that, moving forward, there'll be a couple challenges when I travel and stuff, but I think it's something that I've grown pretty accustomed to. And in addition to focus, kind of one of the thoughts that I was having today is in line with, how I apply advice that I see or information I see and tactics and strategies that I see, and how I would recommend you apply anything that comes up in your life, either through my videos or through anybody else's videos. Any input or wisdom that you're given is really best to just take action on it and try it out and see how it works for you, and really craft and develop your own style, really, in a sense. Like if we think about anything else that we would learn and do, it's not necessarily, we're not all cookie cutter, right? We're not all the same. We're all kind of snowflakes and unique. But what that means would be is that each of us is unique, and the way that we can apply different things is probably going to have a little bit of uniqueness to it. And your particular situations is really not going to be the best suited for just taking stock advice or advice in a stock format and applying it directly to your life. That might not work, And instead of thinking that it just doesn't work for you, I think almost any advice that you are given, if it's halfway decent, I preface that, it will work. It's just the application of it. And it is doing it without judgment, like doing it in a way that it actually can work, and doing it for long enough that it can work. A lot of times you're not just gonna go out and start hitting 3-pointers, from downtown. It's going to take some time to actually develop a little bit of skill with whatever you're trying to do, with whatever new piece of wisdom that you're applying in your life. And so, if I present some ideas and strategies, that's just what's worked for me, and I've developed those over a long course of time. That's really what my goal is here, is to just kind of highlight the ways that I've been successful in making it through some hard stuff and making it through to a better place and improving myself year after year. Because I think for most of my years, I've been able to do that. When you're younger, I think it's almost by default, right? Because you're going through the education system. But once you get out of even formalized education, or once you start to get towards that graduate studies or postgraduate studies, undergrad studies, like that's an area where it's a lot on you. And I don't think a lot of what I learned there was really life lessons or applicable. I've developed a lot of that since then. And I'm definitely a non-traditionalist, right? Like I'm not advising that everything is the way that we grew up with, or the way that you were grown up with. Like your parents or the standard way of going about life. I don't really prescribe to that recommendation or that way of living. So I think it's all about developing what works with you and maximizing your time here, right? We don't have a ton of time here. And ultimately, my goal in anything that I do is to try to help people unlock the best versions of themselves. And really oftentimes I think we have low ceilings for ourselves, whether that's driven by a lack of confidence or an overwhelming sense of insecurity, or kind of the combination of the two, or whatever it might be that's really presenting that. I think that it's crucial to find some nuggets of wisdom and find tactics and strategies that allow you to break through your barriers and break through your ceilings and overcome your obstacles and do some of those things that you really want to do. You know, if you're interested in something, yet the idea of it makes you uncomfortable, do it. Try to do it as quickly as you can. See if you like how it feels, like once you're on the other side. Like discomfort is what I would argue you should embrace, right? If it interests you. I'm not saying just go do uncomfortable stuff that doesn't interest you. Find something that interests you, that is outside your comfort zone, and do it. That's where the growth lies. And pick something small first. Like go win. So, a little bit on this Sunday. Like I said, develop your own ways to apply some of this, but the more you hear an idea, the more likely it has worked for people, and the more likely it has truth in it. And you just need to find your truth. So, I hope that helps. I hope someday I give you something that's really worthwhile and useful. That's really what I'm here for, is to help distill my own thoughts and my own strategies, my own tactics into something that's hopefully useful for others. I know in person, like I've given a lot of advice to people, not bragging, it's just the nature of the situation. And I think oftentimes, at least, they have connected with it. Is that nothing I'm saying is necessarily original. It is just my truth and my authenticity and what I have seen and what I've experienced and what I've helped others get through. So hopefully that finds you well, and hopefully you find some use in it. Hope it is useful. Have a great day. Safe day.